the rich, the poor. Millennials are causing a baby bust. They aren't having enough kids to keep the US population at the replacement level. That's because rent is $1,500 and jobs paying $12 an hour. Stealing from Target for years and thinking nothing of it. Stealing from Target for years and thinking nothing of it. Them compiling a whole case against me over the years and letting me steal over $3,000 so they can actually send me to jail. TikToker says Target let her steal $3,000 worth of stuff over several years so they can actually send her to jail. Law enforcement source. 19 officers fired into UPS truck. Could exceed 200 rounds. Thank God the cops opened fire and killed the 2 suspects, the hostage, and a random passerby, or the bad guys would have gotten away with some insured jewelry in their easily identifiable super slow moving UPS truck that was already being GPS tracked and had a helicopter following it. Dear, we want to thank you for the time you've invested in our interview process for the legal corporate analyst position on behalf of the whole hiring team, we appreciate it. We interviewed a lot of highly qualified candidates for this role, and while we were very impressed with your experience and qualifications, we have decided to move forward with another candidate. We understand this is not the reply you were hoping for. It was not an easy decision to make. Our team really enjoyed getting to know you. We really appreciated your say something personal about the candidate. What did you like about them? Why did we interview them? Do we want to consider them for future roles? I hope you will stay in touch and continue to monitor our job board. We are growing quickly and we would welcome the opportunity to meet with you again. Thanks again for your interest in. We wish you all the best in your future endeavors. Talent acquisition team. My pregnant wife and I are seriously considering getting divorced, so she'll qualify for Medicaid to pay for the birth and I can afford insurance for myself. I'm not even joking. The fight has been cancelled. Elon Musk's mother pulls a plug on Dana White's UFC plan for her son, and Mark Zuckerberg. Unvaccinated French boy, 5, reintroduces measles to Costa Rica while on holiday with his family, 5 years after the country eradicated the disease. Lesbian couple who beat their 5-year-old son with a hammer, duct taped his eyes shut, and kicked him in the groin in a brutal attack that caused him to suffer 2 strokes are jailed for 20 years. Munitions company CEO faces $32,000 fine for cutting down 32 of his New Jersey neighbor's trees to improve view of New York City skyline from his $1.75 million mansion. Mom shares colorful travel quack to keep toddlers quiet on flights. I've confirmed that Mark Zuckerberg is serious about fighting Elon Musk and is now waiting on the details if Musk decides to follow through. The story speaks for itself. A Meta spokesperson says Zuck's IG post saying send me location. Mark Zuckerberg is ready to fight Elon Musk in a cage match. Vegas Octagon. Jesus. How long did she live to? Is she still alive? Born June 27, 1880, Tuscumbia, Alabama. Died June 1, 1968, Eastern Connecticut. 28 years. How did she write 35 books? 28 hours old she died. Butch, how did you get 28? 1880 minus 1968. 80 minus 68 equals 28. That's not how that works at all. The man who threw the phone at B. Brixha admits he was purposely trying to hit her because he thought it would be funny. He has since been charged with 2 counts of assault, 1 count of harassment, 1 count of aggravated harassment, and 1 count of attempted assault, according to Rolling Stone. For 4 years, I've received insane notes and treats from Trumpers who believe I work for the New York Times. I don't. I never have. But in various bias it say New York Times best-selling author and they cannot tell the duck difference. How pathetic is that? Men opening doors for women is a symbol of aggressive patriarchy. Men are saying you may enter or leave this place, but only on my say so. A man opening and holding a door open for a woman is him subconsciously reminding her that all men are in control of a woman's choices. I dash ahead of women and hold the door closed from the other side, so they have to fight me for it. This way she knows she defeated the patriarchy fair and square to open her own door. Oh my god. I could get in a lot of trouble for telling you this, but it's actually the lollipops we give you after the vaccines where we hide all the toxins. What a moron. He's actually admitting that there are toxins. Hey Google, how do I ducking end my life right now, please? I opened. Sorry, thought was shoes. My bad. Mom. I divorced my dying husband. He wallowed in self-pity and killed my vibe. Till near death do us part. A woman has opened up about why she divorced her dying husband, saying his 5-year answer battle took a toll on their marriage as he wallowed in self-pity. Ellen got rid of the verification system, realized why it was there in the first place, brought it back, got rid of content moderation, realized it was necessary, brought it back, brought back Kanye, realized why he was banned, rebanned him. What a humble genius he is. I was walking through Target in the kids section when my daughter found this sweatshirt. Not knowing what it meant, she wanted to get it because of the color. I explained how it's inappropriate. Thanks to Target I'm having to explain to a child way too young about phrases having to do with jizz. No thank you. I cut up my Target cards and will never take my kids into a store that grooms children. When I told my English teacher on the first day of school that I was German, his joking response was, "Miss Helen, the adjacent room is a Jew. Maybe you should go talk to her." I was left speechless. Where I'm from, we still find it hard to talk about German as knees past, let alone make crude jokes about it. But the Kentucky youth had a field day with the history of my country. People routinely raised their arms to a Hitler salute as I was walking down the hallway, something which could be considered a criminal offense back home. Whenever I'd get into debates with my friends, they would eventually shoot me down, saying, well, at least we didn't exterminate all the Jews. If a 16-year-old wanted to adopt a child, the government wouldn't allow it. She isn't done with her education, she can't financially support herself, and she isn't a legal adult. But if she gets pregnant, the government can ban her from getting an abortion. How is that logical? Michigan Catholic priest Vincent DiLorenzo has been sentenced to only 1 year in prison for raping a 5-year-old child at a funeral for the victim's family member. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Wi-Fi radiation opens up your blood-brain barrier so all these toxins that are in your body can now go into your brain. Rogan, how does Wi-Fi open up your blood-brain barrier? Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Now you've gone beyond my expertise. In America, you and your doctor can both agree that you need a surgery, but you have to get permission from a third-party for-profit insurance company, or it can't be paid for. It's called freedom. I was invited earlier this month to ride the Titanic submarine. I said no. Kind of scary that I could have been on it. Also, I'm going to the Titanic in a submarine late this month. The team would be stoked to have you along. I've never been more proud of my country. Teen Olympian overslept, lost coat, said duck on TV, and won US's first gold of 2018. Truly an American hero. Overslept. That sums up the work ethic of that generation. How many gold medals do you and your cat have? Go knit some cat mittens, Deborah. How Ukraine's dam collapse could become the country's Chernobyl. Ah yeah. It got pretty cold. Had to pull out the windshield scraper this morning. I could have helped you. I appreciate it, but I'm so far away, it'd be quicker to just do it myself. Plus you save gas money. Okay. I was just trying to be nice. Yes, and I appreciate it. Thank you. I feel like you don't mean that. You never give me a chance at anything, whether it's scraping the ice off your vehicle or taking you to dinner. I'm glad your fiance died. The bitter almond tree was banned in America in 1995 because it's the highest source of B17 which prevents and treats cancer. Still trust your government? When people claim our government regulators actually have the people in their best interest, this isn't true at all. They aren't banned. The sale is regulated because they contain a fairly high level of cyanide. Yet this stuff really happened. If you were revamping the human body and were to give abs an actual useful function instead of just sex appeal, what would you have them do? There's a trend, and I think I've only seen it in the last 5 to 6 years, of grown men crying when they see their bride walking down the aisle. I have to say it is extremely gay. Men shouldn't cry at such things. It should be reserved for extreme moments of pain. Adult. What's the opposite of virtue signaling? When you go to a gender-neutral bathroom and get mad for being treated like a equal. I used a gender-neutral bathroom today and 2 men came in while I was washing my hands. Man number 1 didn't care and used the bathroom in front of me. Man number 2 waited outside the bathroom till I left after seeing me inside. I thanked man number 2 for respecting my privacy. I felt so violated. Man number 1 treated you as an equal in a gender-neutral bathroom. Man number 2 treated you like a woman. I don't know which one you want us to treat. After my mom died, I found hundreds of receipts from money she sent Pat Robertson and Creflo Dollar with prayers for me to have a better life. A single mom working nights, trip to give from the little she had for small glimmers of hope. I won't mourn Pat Robertson. They say let it go, right, but who collected on those precious innocent children and those 2 teachers that died as heroes? Uvalde, Texas, that's who. But remember, my son Salvador was the one. Don't forget to thank my son Salvador Orlando Ramos for that. That everyone has collected, because I only bleed through my toes. What about you? Wind, ice, sunsets. You need reliable, affordable, clean coal electricity. Fighting for the future of packcoal.org. This is why Americans need science. Question. My 17 daughter, who is homeschooled, is active in church and professes to be a Christian, has a friend that is a lesbian. Her friend is graduating from public school this week and wants my daughter to attend. My daughter is thinking she needs to be there for her friend. My husband and I do not want her to attend, but it appears she will go. What do we do? What are Florida ounces? I didn't think much of this when I lived in Florida. Many products were labeled in Florida ounces, but now that I live in another state, I'm surprised to see products still labeled with Florida ounces. I looked up Florida ounces, but couldn't find much information about them. Google doesn't know how to convert them to regular ounces. FLOS stands for fluid ounces, not Florida. Oh duck. I went clubbing with a girl today. I picked her up from the airport. She arrived in Dubai from Romania. She pushed me away at the club and went grinding with every guy she could find at the club. I felt really hurt. Even the bouncer at the club kept asking me why I'm chasing this girl. I had to prove to the bouncer that she came with me and I was supposed to drop her home safely. A good lesson in life today. I just don't understand how a girl who came clubbing with me is so comfortable grinding with every random guy in the club, but she's not comfortable with me. I don't approve of tattoos. Mainly it is written in the Christian Bible not to mark your body. I love you, Dwayne, but this is the only thing I do not approve of. It is your choice, of course. Love in The Rock. It also says not to pierce your ears or get a divorce, but one click on your profile shows you obviously pick and choose which parts of the Bible fit your agenda. It's difficult to overstate what absolute utter charlatans these people are. US News. Guests urged to be vaccinated at anti-vax Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s party. We don't do NFTs. If you see a cyanide and happiness NFT, that wasn't us. If you bought a cyanide and happiness NFT, you got scammed. Also lol. Don't know why you had to add the also lol at the end there. Shouldn't glorify vulnerable people being scammed. NFT brothers losing money is funnier than any of our comics. I told my tattooist I want scars on my face and bulking out my eyes. It was painful, but I did not twitch after he was done. I demanded for a mirror. He said what? I repeated, and angry I said mirror. As I was moving solely, not just yet of getting up, I started to cackle and laugh. He said in an upsetting way, I did what I could. Are you okay? As I got up, look at myself, and that bigger mirror, he says, sir, are you okay? As I laughed even louder in pain, and laughing and calmly said I never felt better with the creepiest smile. Don't ask why, you will never understand why. Despite being smarter than 85% of you, IQ below, affirmative action kept me out of all my top choices. Thank God that anti-white recess policy won't be holding back our brightest anymore. Results. Your IQ is 84. Your IQ is in the top 85.69%. In a room of 1000 people, you would be smarter than 143 of them. Husband gets mad at wife for writing book and selling it for $100,000 during her lunch breaks. Question. My wife wrote a secret book. My wife is an accomplished author who also holds down a full-time job in an unrelated field, mostly for the benefits. When we had our first child last year, we agreed that she would pause her writing career. Something had to go with a new baby at home. Except, it turns out she didn't pause it. She got a great idea for a new novel, wrote it secretly during her lunch break at work, and sold it for $100,000. I feel so many things right now. It's hard to be mad at someone when they casually tell you your son's college education is now paid for, and her lunch hour is technically hers to do as she wishes. But she went against our deal. She could have been home an hour earlier every night this year if she hadn't done this project. And when I think back on all the times she's been tired or grumpy in the past year, I now blame the book, even though it could have just been caring for a newborn. How do I trust her to keep to her word? How should I feel right now? Ducking a tour is covered in masks again. They did it. They scared everyone into compliance. What? Seriously? Are they just doing it? Or is it mandated again? It's not mandated, but the TV told them to. People at my work and people walking the streets are all wearing them. N95s are the only ones recommended this time around. Ugh, that's actually very horrifying to me. The programming is real. In 1977, President Carter decided to pay a diplomatic visit to then communist Poland. Unfortunately, his translator didn't do a very good job. He translated Carter wanting to get to know the Poles better as wanting to know them carnally, that is, sleep with them. Him wanting to grasp and understand their hearts as wanting to grasp their private parts. And I left the United States to come here as I fled America, never to return. Imagine being some Polish dude watching TV and the American president shows up saying he's here to duck, and he's not leaving. I thought it would be fun to teach my speech students hello, my name is in Spanish. Good afternoon. My son is one of your morning speech students. He came home speaking Spanish, which I found surprisingly inappropriate. My son is American and has spoken English his entire life. I appreciate the encouragement and patience you've had towards him, but don't confuse him with your Spanish words. He has done just fine knowing this country's language. Thank you. What ya mean? We need a longer truck. Meet my French bulldog foster puppies and learn why it's not cute to breed and buy. My sister has 3 Frenchies and wants to breed 2 of them. I had no idea the negative issues behind breeding them until now. Cops pepper sprayed their own senator without realizing he's an authority figure. My father-in-law believes a YouTube video with 2 doctors who told him the vaccines change your DNA over me, an actual vaccine researcher. How's your weekend going? The USPS is viewed favorably by 91% of Americans despite billions in losses annually. It's a service. It doesn't lose money. It costs money. No one says the military loses $750 billion a year. If masks were necessary for our survival as a species, we would have evolved one by now. We haven't. We have noses and mouths. We have airways. It is not natural for people to go around with face masks on in their general life. And no amount of government propaganda can change that. Neil, do you wear shoes? This is Alex Smith. He died this year at age 26 because he couldn't afford insulin in America. He made $35,000 a year as a restaurant manager and couldn't afford his $450 a month health insurance with a $7,600 out-of-pocket deductible. The insulin he needed for diabetes was $1,300 a month. When he turned 26 and was kicked off his mom's insurance, he started rationing his life-saving insulin. He died a month later. All this in the richest country in the world. Whatever happens, I will never, ever understand how 67 million people looked at the last 4 years and went, yeah sure, more of that please. I put on a mask and literally within seconds, I'm struggling to breathe. The surgeon who wore a mask for 6 hours to reconstruct my knee thinks maybe you're lying, and also a drama queen. You want socialized medicine? Tell me again how good Canadian healthcare is. Tell me about the wait times for serious medical procedures. Did you guys learn anything from the complete failure of Obamacare? My husband needed brain surgery. World-class neurosurgeons removed a wedge of his skull, used lasers to remove scar tissue on his temporal lobe, and then put his skull back together. My biggest expenses were parking and snacks for stress eating. Has anyone mentioned that the police will leave you alone if you don't do illegal stuff? Breonna Taylor was sleeping. Wishing all our loved ones, neighbors, and friends across the country lighting their first candle tonight a beautiful and happy Hanukkah. What's wrong with wishing us a Merry Christmas? Because it's the first night of Hanukkah and not Christmas yet. Norway is happiest country in the world. What's the secret? I can't believe that a wealthy country with free healthcare and education, high wages, a strong middle class and nearly a month paid vacation time by law is happy.